John with Green Coffee Buying Club here, and I'm going to do the wrap-up review for the Lulu's hand brewing system. And so in my previous pre-review video, pretty much completely disassembled it and talked about every piece, reassembled it, different brewing methods, and kind of like my first initial thoughts of it. And so inadvertently, I did a lot of the review in the pre-review, and so I recommend watching that, checking that out. It'll demystify the device completely. You'll completely understand how it comes apart, what everything's doing, how it all works. And so now I'm just going to do a little bit more on review. And so the first thing I'll say is that my intention was to review some like actual brewing concepts that I came around to trying, but it became impossible, and here's why. Because the device is actually much more dynamic than I had expected. When I very first read about it, it seemed as though this might be a solution for people that maybe they weren't really into any more complex pour-over techniques. They didn't want to get a pouring kettle, let's just say, or spend time really digging into some of the finer elements of pour-over. And so this was going to be something like locking them into a system. This is just my idea of what the product was. And so it'd make it easy for someone, sort of like foolproof, bomb-proof, push button type system to deliver some consistent results. And so with that being said, I believe that's possible with the Lulu's hand. However, I immediately started experimenting with it and doing things more with it. And maybe that's just being a coffee guy. Maybe, coffee people are going to automatically start to do that anyways. And I'll show you like some of the things I did in a minute. But it was impossible for me to avoid doing it. So right away I realized I could review this product for 5 years, and come up with thousands of different little variations and whatnot. And that would, then you'd be seeing this 5 years from now. So instead I just stopped, and I think I would just say this, like, it's an extremely well-built device. And so that's the main key factor is, and I'll get into some of those points in just a second, but it's very well built and makes a good cup of coffee. So those are the two things that you need to know, to decide to get it or not. And I suppose it's true if you just got it and read the instructions and did what they say and followed that only, set your grind over time or whatever, you would have some kind of a simple ABC 1, 2, 3 type of a brewer. But I don't know that, it's hard for me to say how that could be possible, just because by my nature, I started to see a lot of things. So like one of the first things I did was, modify this notch. I cut some more of this off so that I could really open it up to fully open. So I'm trying to get some light through there. So basically I could fill it up, let it dwell for so many minutes, and dump everything all at once, like instantly. Things like that. And, I don't know that most people are going to start cutting on here and modifying it right away, but I did. I couldn't help myself from doing it. And so I just think there's unlimited amounts of experimentation, different grinds, different dwell times, different flow rates when you start to adjust the flow rate here, and so many things that it would take forever to tell you, an end result. There's just too many results. So I think I'll just go with that being said. Like, it's capable. It's a fully capable device, and it's going to be up to you to decide, do you just want to go the simple route and have some sort of a foolproof or repeatable brew, or are you going to experiment with it? It's totally up to you. The device is capable either way, and that's the key feature, I suppose. But a few things I really want to say about it are, this is the heart of the matter. And this system that opens up the ports, it puts it in your hands. It's just up to you. You can open it up fully like that, or get some sort of a different flow rate. So here, you're controlling the flow rate of either water, if your coffee's down in here, or coffee and water if you're going to use like a full immersion, kind of a French press type of a style. And if I had to say, I would say, you know, this is comparable in a lot of ways in the cup to a French press type of coffee when you put the coffee and the water in here and brew, versus a drip style, you know. But pour over specifically, I wouldn't say it's really not that. It's kind of like a hybrid, but so is every device, and that's what we want, and that's why, you know, there's different devices. But this thing is solid stainless steel. I don't know what you're going to do to hurt this. And so it's extremely well built. And for some reason, one of my favorite things about it is the way that these pieces connect. There's just it's so well machined. The tolerances and stuff are so tight that it just presses on there with nothing to get dirty in here. No kind of seal, no kind of silicone ring you're going to lose, nothing like that. It's really simple. We talked about all the components like the filter and stuff before. So it's bomb proof. You can't break it. You can't hurt it. It's sort of up to you to decide. Are you going to start fooling with the different grinds? Are you going to try to put coffee down in here? Are you going to do full immersion here? Are you going to follow the directions and the way that they're written? And they've changed the directions, by the way. So I'm sure that if you order it, it'll be shipped with the newest directions. And I'm sure also on website or whatever, if things change, they'll let you know. But it's sort of up to you. And so I find the device is, number one, built like a tank. So that's important. You're not going to break it, hurt it, drop it. And two, massively adaptable, which kind of caught me by surprise, because again, when I very first read about it, I didn't expect for that. I thought it was just going to be an ABC 123 type device, and I suppose, like I say, that's very possible if that's all you want from it. It's going to be difficult to, I would imagine, to just stop there though. And so if you did want to experiment with it, see what other kind of cups you can get out of it, it sort of lends itself to that very easily, and you'll start doing mods like me. And other than that, I don't really know what other mods, but there's so many different things you could try. You know, I did try full immersion here and drip through here, and I only tried it a few times. I didn't get into it far enough, because at that point is when I really realized I could do this for years. There's too many hundreds and maybe thousands of different things I could try with it, which, as a coffee guy, again, it's awesome. You want something on your shelf that you can grab and mess with sometimes, and you know, brew with this guy for a few weeks, try different things, and then switch it up. So as far as, you know, does it belong in your lineup? You know, I guess I can't answer it exactly, but it's fantastic. I mean, it belongs in my lineup because there's just going to be that day when I want to grab it and I want to I get an idea, you know. And so it's a really solid device. It's built very well. It does some unique things that no other brewer that I know of is doing out there or can do. So it gives you some options to try new things. I think it's very well built, and I will give it a full recommendation. Lulu's hand.